Hi, I'm Dave Steinfeld. I own the law office of David Steinfeld, and I'm a certified expert in Florida business litigation law. This video is for the real estate investor. It tells you what you need to know about real estate brokers. Now, there's no legal advice in this video, but for that, you can contact me through davidsteinfeld.com. And while you're there, please take a look at the other informative videos and articles on business law and other topics. Thanks for watching. Now, when we deal with brokers, real estate brokers, there are different types of brokers. I'm going to first tell you the two different types of brokers in residential transactions, and then we'll go into commercial transactions. Chapter 475 of Florida statutes is what controls brokers, and that even sets up the Florida Real Estate Commission. There are two types of brokers in the residential setting. There are transactional brokers, that's one, and there are single brokers. Transactional broker will span the entire transaction. The transactional broker is going to represent both the buyer and the seller. That's allowed by Florida law as long as certain documentation is signed by the parties whereby they're indicating that they understand the broker is able to represent both parties in the transaction. And there are a different set of duties that apply to the transactional broker than in the single buyer broker. Some of those duties for the transactional broker are to deal honestly and fairly with the individuals, to account for all funds, use skill, care, and diligence in the transaction, to disclose all known facts that materially affect the value of the residential real estate and are not readily observable to the buyer. And that sounds a lot like what we talked about in the prior video with Johnson versus Davis, and it's identical. It's the burden that's placed on sellers, except for the fact that the real estate broker, and I'll get into this in a moment, the real estate broker is not deemed to know the same information as the seller would. So you have to be careful about that. Lastly, the transactional broker also has to present all offers and counteroffers in a timely manner, has some limited confidentiality because they're spanning both parties, unless that's waived in writing, and any additional duties that the parties would agree to, which means you're not limited to those specific duties. What you can actually do is to, if it's necessary in a particular transaction, to enter into a different agreement with the transactional broker modifying those. Now, in contrast, when you have a single agent broker, the duties are a little bit different. They still have the duty to deal honestly and fairly with the people that they're representing, but they have additional duties of loyalty because they're only representing one party in the transaction. The confidentiality is much broader in a single agent transaction than in the transaction broker situation. There are duties of obedience and full disclosure to the principal that broker serves, and they also have duties for accounting for all funds, using skill, care, and diligence in the transaction, and disclosing facts that they know of, that they're aware of, that materially affect the value of the property. Commercial brokers don't have the same obligations that they do, but there are some obligations that are imposed on them by law, and they also do have a lien right for their commissions that I'll discuss in the next video in talking about brokers. Now, what do brokers not do? Brokers are not home inspectors. Brokers have, as I mentioned, this duty to disclose material facts that they're aware of that impact the value of the property, but they may not be aware of it unless the seller tells them about it. So if the seller discloses to them, in the case of the Johnson versus Davis situation that we talked about earlier, that's in the prior video, where the water was gushing in through the window, and before the transaction, the seller told Mrs. Davis, we had that fixed. If the seller turns around and kind of tongue-in-cheek says to the broker, we didn't have it fixed, but don't tell them that, the broker is going to have this obligation to disclose that, but only where the broker knows about it. But when you're dealing with a broker in a real estate transaction, in residential transactions, the broker is not a home inspector. You can't expect the broker to go climb around in the attic and make sure that the nails are the proper number of inches apart that they're supposed to be. The broker is not a termite guy or gal to go find out that stuff. You can ask the broker, and should ask the broker that you deal with as an investor, to help you to find good qualified people to do that. The broker should be guiding you, but don't think that the broker's obligation is to find out physical defects with the property or with the title. They should guide you to the professionals that can help you with that.